Hello, am I live? I think I'm live. Oh my god. No, I'm not live. Waiting. Hello? Ah, jawel. Oké. Volgens mij ben ik live. Even testen. Oeh, yay! Oké. I am live. Okay, sorry for the delay. Hi everyone. I see that two of my editor classmates are in the chats too. I don't know why they're here. They know how to use Premiere. Oh, look. Why does it say? Oh, live viewers 1. That's weird. Sorry, just figuring out how this all works. Oh, 4 people are watching. Okay, good. There's of course a little bit of a delay for you guys to hear what I am saying, and then there's also a pretty decent delay in when you guys are commenting on YouTube and they show up in my streaming service. Because I'm using StreamYard, you can see it in the top in the corner, powered by StreamYard, which is a free service. And I can see your guys' comment and reply, but it's a little bit of a delay. So I will start with a little bit of an introduction because I think it might take some people a while to get here. So I was going to like do a little bit of 5-minute introduction or something, maybe a little bit longer. Hi. I have no clue if there are people here that do not know me, but if there are people here that do not know me, my name is Eva Plompen. I'm a Dutch editor based in Amsterdam, and I usually work with Avid Media Composer, so I'm a little bit of a hypocrite teaching you all Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, but I think Premiere is a great video editing service if you're starting out with making videos, or if you want to just make YouTube videos or online videos, small videos. For film editing, I wouldn't recommend Premiere, but for YouTube, I wouldn't recommend Avid because it's a little bit of a tough nut to crack if you want to use it for just videos. So I'm going to explain you Premiere today because I feel like there are people who are like, oh, I might want to learn how to do video editing in this crazy time. But yeah, keep commenting because then I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. That would be great. Oh, okay. Yeah, the comments take a long while to show up on my streaming service. So now and then I'll just go over to the YouTube tab so I can see you guys' comments. What else can I introduce? Oh yeah, there are some ways you can pay me, even though this is free. Technically, this is free. You didn't pay anything to be here, and I'm just going to explain everything. But I have some ways that you could pay me if you wanted to. There's the reader that I haven't finished yet. I'm very close to finishing, just need to write the 2 final chapters and then check everything for spelling and everything. But I've written a reader. I've spent the last 2 weeks writing this humongous reader. I will show you it if I can. Share screen, application window, can I? Ooh, wait a minute. Let me see if this works. Share screen. Ooh, so many. Okay. Okay, you can see it? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so I've been writing this giant reader with everything that I'm going to talk about today. This is just everything I'm going to talk about today, but then written down step by step so you can like read everything again. I was distracted because Tim asked me to show my cat, who is sleeping right there. Anyway, so I've written the reader, and the reader is available for purchase for, I think, €8, and it's not finished yet, but you can pre-order it, pay via PayPal. And if you don't have PayPal, just message me, and I can send you like a ideal tiki or like a payment request. Look, I have banners. Ooh! And there are 2 links in the description, a PayPal link and a payment request from my bank. You can just tip me some money if you want to. So the reader is like €8. I've priced it at €8 right now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna up the price or maybe downgrade. If I'm gonna downgrade the price, but I don't think so, because €8 is cheap for what I have been working on for like the past 2 weeks. But if you think €8 is too much, or you don't want the written reader, you can just tip me something. Yeah, I think that is it. I think I just have to start. There are 9 people watching right now, so I'll just start. Let me see. Oh, no, not this one. Yeah, okay. So I have my computer set up in front of me. I've like moved my whole setup, or my almost whole setup, to the living room so I could do this stream, because I don't have a very well internet connection. So everything is hooked up now in like cables and everything. So this is where my screen is for my computer, which is what you're watching. And you can see the little Premiere Pro icon down low, because that's necessary for me to be able to route the audio from my computer into the stream. Technical stuff. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're going to start with a very interesting, well, very important part about editing, and it is organization. It's really important to have your stuff organized from the get-go. Before you even start the program, you have to be organized. So this is what you do. You have, for me, I have this on the desktop. Normally you would put it on a disk that you're using to work on, using your, where you're working. Oh my God, I can't speak. A disk where you put your project on. For me, it's the desktop, and you make the root a root file. Normally you have already have this because you have your footage. And there are 3 main folders that you need to have, which is the Adobe project folder, an export folder, and a footage folder. I'm going to make another Adobe project folder because this is for my reader. This is the project I used to make screenshots for the reader. So I'm just gonna make another one, and I will name it this. So create an empty folder, create an export folder. This is still empty. You're going to need this at the end, and put all your footage in a footage folder. This is the footage. The footage I'm using today is footage from the short poetry film I did in collaboration with Matthew Gilpin and Ryan and Sky Boden. It's on Matthew's YouTube. It's called Morning. It's a short poetry film of about a minute and something. That we created as part of Ruckus 2019. That's the footage that I'm going to be using for this stream today. So just create these folders. You might need more folders in the long run. Might need a folder for titles if you're going to import titles, a folder for music, a folder for sound effects or whatever. Just you can create as many folders as you want to just stay organized. For now, these 3 are the most important ones. Okay, then we're finally going to start up Premiere Pro. I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro 2020 because that's the most current one. Important note about versions is that if you create a project in one version and you want to work on the same project on a different computer, different system, make sure they are the same version of Adobe Premiere, or you can always upgrade, but you can almost never downgrade. So don't create a project in 2020 if you're gonna work on it in a version like Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2019. That would not happen. Oh, that would not work. Okay, so this is where your projects are. You can see this is the one that I use for my reader as well. And you're going to click New Project. And then you're going to get this screen. And you're going to name your project, name it in a clear way. Make sure you don't do something weird. Just get a good project, because it's just, I'm just going to name it this because it's a dummy project anyway. Then you need to browse and locate that folder that you've created. So this is the wrong one because this is the one for the other one, and you're going to highlight it here. This way, all of the folders in the project for that project are going to be in here. You can see it here with my other. This is the project file. Here are some like autosaves and video previews. I will come to this later. Also, guys, let me know if you have questions during the stream, or if I'm going too fast, or if I'm going too slow. Let me know. So we select the folder and choose. Then it's important that your capture format is on HDV and not DV. When you've been working on in the program for a while, it will be standardly HDV, but when you're booting up for the first time, it will say DV. This is important for the exporting and the previews and the rendering and everything. Then the final thing is go to scratch disks and make sure everything is on same as project. There's an exception for this. If you're working on a big project with a lot of big effects or other stuff that's going to need a lot of space, maybe you're going to capture a lot of video in Premiere, or you're going to capture audio in Premiere, and you want it in a different folder, you can put it on a different folder. Or you can put it on a different disk if you're going to use like a lot of effects and you want the video previews, you can put it on a different disk so that your disk isn't working as hard. It's a little bit technical, but usually when you're just working on a small project, it's good to have everything on same as project. So check that as well. This is really interesting. So, okay, when you have your name, location, HTV, and scratch disks, you just hit OK. And then this is the editing workspace. And we're going to, the difference between DV and HTV means, you know the difference it means. It means high definition video or is that true? I'm pretty sure that the difference is just that HTV is the higher quality. So if you're capturing image in Premiere, and this includes, I believe, titles, it will be too low of a quality if you do DV. So just make sure HTV doesn't really matter for, like, it matters for everything that you capture. I hope this is a good explanation. Probably not, but sure. It is important for everything to just look good, high quality and crisp. Then this is the interface, and there are a lot of workspaces. You can see them here. But I'm going to focus on the editing one because this is the one that you will probably use the most. And it's the standard one. You can drag all of these things down and up and to side if you want to edit any of the workspace. But let me just walk through the interface for people who have used other video editing programs that will be maybe a little bit like abundant to explain this, but for people, this is for the beginners. This was on effect controls because of the last project I did. I had those open last time I shut, but normally it will be on source. This is the source monitor. This is the program monitor. This is your project bin, and this is your timeline window. These are tools, and this is an audio meter. And I will come to all of these when they arrive, but the most thing is you have two different screens. This is everything that you open from your bins. This will be the image of your timeline, of your sequence. So this corresponds to this, and this corresponds to anything here. So very obvious. Let me see. My lesson plan. Okay, so it's time to import your media. I always like how Premiere gives you instructions in images or in text here that I do not agree with, because here it says import media to start. I think you should not import media to start. You should create bins to start. So I will be talking about this a lot, but it's organization is very important. I've already said that, but it's very important. So you can create a bin. This is the icon for a new bin. You can also go to File, New, Hello, Bin. You can, are these the good settings? Yes. I will come to this later. New bin is also keyboard shortcut Command B or Control B on Windows, probably. I usually just use this button, create new bin. And then you name a bin, footage. And I do not like this view of a bin, but you can change it between list view and icon view down here. So now it's just a list. I will create one for footage and one for sequences. These are the two most important bins. So footage, and I can double click it and it will open in a new tab. I can also go back to this, and then click on this and it will take me back to my project bin. But I can also just use the tab once. So this is my footage. Organization is life, Celeste. It's true. Especially when you're an editor. So footage, now you can import your media. You can double click and it will open a window, or you can right click, import. It will do the same thing. Then you go to your folder with footage. Now I have a lot of weird folders and stuff. I will just select all of them and import them. This might take a little while. I don't think so. They're not a lot of footage. Look, there it is. And because I selected folders, it also imported it into folders, which is good for me because I had these organized in different things. And now you have your footage here. And then I could double click on main stuff and it will open here. And then you can switch it to icon view if you want. This might take a while. And then you can see your footage in icons. I need to adjust my screen a bit because I can't see it very well. And this is a lot of the footage. So evening stuff is also very important. Put it on icon view. Now, if I double click one of these, this is Buckland Hall. Sadly, it's been sold for I don't know if there are any Ruckus viewers in here, but sad. And now this has opened into my source monitor. So this is where your thing is. Yeah, I think you can hear it. I can hear it through my earbuds, even though I've put it in my laptop. There's not a lot of sound in this shot. But yeah, so this is where your source monitor comes in. Then you've imported your footage. Great. Going on to making an actual sequence. And again, this is where Premiere says something that I don't agree with, which is drop media here to create a sequence. I would not recommend this because if you do this, you have no control over the settings of your sequence, which means that you don't know what kind of frame rate it uses, what kind of aspect ratio it uses, anything really. So this is not how I would do it. I would highlight this clip, this bin, or you could just open it as well, but I don't really do that. So I just highlight the bin and then I click new item, sequence. Again, you can do file, new sequence. It's Command N and a shortcut, but no, this is not what I wanted to do. Here, sequence. And then this pops up, which is a very big screen with a lot of folders and stuff with sequence presets. I never look at this. I just go straight to settings. Then this is a whole different thing. I'm not going to explain a lot about codecs or editing modes or pixel aspect ratios. If you want to be you want to know more about this, you could always Google or whatever you use as a search engine. Usually I just put it on custom and then I put it on whatever I wanted it to be, or a good one to use is DNX 180p, which is basically, these are the standard sizes of an HD video. For online video, this is great. I always edit in this one as well. Usually on Avid, I edit with proxies, which are smaller versions of your material. But these are okay settings for, I think, mostly every video for online. You can adjust how many tracks and what kind of tracks you want to use, want to have. The standard is usually fine. Very important, sequence name. It's down here. You can't really see it. A lot of people will just be like, oh yeah, sure, okay, give it a name. Again, organization is life. So I will do project version 1, or whatever the name is of your project, and then put version 1 in it, because that's good. Okay, so now we have a sequence. Now I will run you through the interface of the timeline. Or should I put some stuff in here first? What did I do in my reader? Hold on a minute. Yeah, no, okay, I did this later on. Okay. Another thing about the bin one, I forgot to tell you. If you're in a bin like this one, and you're on icon view, you can sort the icons. Usually I wanted to sort it by name or media starts or whatever. So you can sort your bin as well, which is always handy. Okay, I'm gonna put some stuff from here into here, which is also here. And now I'm gonna talk to you about keyboard shortcuts. Thank you, Wies, for the suggestion. I'm gonna talk to you about keyboard shortcuts, because if you wanna master any editing program, it's very good to learn the keyboard shortcuts firsthand. Adobe has a lot of like standard keyboard shortcuts. You can find them here. I believe, where were they found in Windows? I looked this up when I was writing my reader. It's on Edit Keyboard Shortcuts for Windows. So you go to keyboard shortcuts and you see this general screen. And this has all the keyboard shortcuts that you want. And you can change them. So if you want it to be something else, you can just highlight them and change them to something else. I have my own settings that are a little bit different because I try to replicate Avid settings in here, which doesn't always work. But yeah, this is very handy. I will talk about the shortcuts during the stream. And also they always, like, you can see here, I don't know why I'm pointing with my finger. You can see here that they have between those parentheses, that's the shortcut. So we're gonna put some stuff in here. And we do that with in and out points. These are the in and out points. Mark in, mark out. So if this is my clip and I want to put something in there, I was like, okay, well, I want to start here and there. See how I'm using the shortcuts, I and O. You can see it here. Mark in is I, mark out is O. This is almost always the same. It's just very good to think. You can also just use these buttons. So I can put this one here, put this one there. But again, shortcuts are the best, and you can do them real time. So here, yeah, to here. Now, how do I put this in here? I can hold this. I'm using a pen, by the way, and not an actual mouse or trackpad, but it works same with mouse. You can drag this into your timeline. But no, we're not gonna, oh, interesting. That didn't happen last time. Oh my God, guys, what's wrong? Ah, it was a non-progressive. See, even I make mistakes. It needs to be progressive. This is just technical bullshit. Okay, good. Yeah, is it good? Is it even in my bin? No, now it's in my bin. Sorry, guys. My reader is much more professional. It's not on the fly. Everything goes wrong. Okay, so you can drag stuff into your sequence, but we don't do that because you can see these are it's not very precise. So what you do is you use either insert or override. For now, there's not really a difference because there's nothing in my sequence yet. So I'll just put some shots in there so you can see what is the difference. And I will talk about what I'm doing right now in a minute. Let me see. These nice cup. It's a cup. It was for a poetry film, so the footage looks a bit weird, but I'm keep trying to use my own shortcuts, but that's not how it works. So I'll just use the buttons. Okay, so now I have 3 shots, and now you can actually see what will happen if I use these 2 buttons. I've been using them since now. There are some navigating tools as well. If you have your keyboard and you press the up button, you will go to the previous edit point, and the down button will take you to the next edit point. And you can use, if you have a keyboard like this, which has a home and an end button, you can do home for the beginning of your sequence and end to the end of your sequence. So let me see. What if I wanted to put these nice shots of lavender into my sequence at this point? There are 2 ways I can do that. I wanted to, oh, look, this pretty, oh, it's a little bit shaky. Maybe here. Oh, look, there's a little butterfly. Oh, it's gone. Well, what if I wanted to put this into my sequence? This is a playhead. I will talk through this as well. And this is where my playhead is. And this means that this is wherever my, what my buttons react to. So if I hit insert, you will see that it will insert them, literally, in between the 2 clips that were already there. So now you had this, and then the butterfly, and then the cup of tea. If I use override, you will see that it will literally override the shot. So now there's just a little bit of cup left because it was longer, but it has overwritten what's in there. So those are the 2 buttons. You will use them a lot of the time. So insert or override. If you're at the end of the sequence and there's nothing at the end, it won't make a difference. Override or insert doesn't matter because there's nothing to override or insert between. This is the best way to put your footage into your timeline, your sequence. Now, about all of this. This is just a tab of your sequence. You can close on, you can have a lot of different settings that aren't very interesting right now. This is an insert and override sequences as nest or individual clips. This only works if you have, these were the standard. The navigating buttons are the standard ones. My own are different from these. I use different, but that's just because I'm weird, and I'm trying to teach you guys all of the standard Premiere settings because then you can do them before you have to dive into changing the keyboard shortcuts. If you want to change the keyboard shortcuts, you can always do that to something you want, you can just, these are the settings that will do what you want to do by navigating. What was I doing? Okay, this one, this button doesn't really matter right now. If you have two different sequences and you wanted to put it in the other one, this will be interesting, but I'm not going to cover it right now because you won't use it as much. It's covered in my reader if you want to. The snap in timeline one is very interesting because if you, like I said, this is your playhead, this corresponds to this. If you have it on, if you drag this, you can see that it will correspond, it will snap to the beginning, an edit, or my playhead. If I turn this off, it won't. It won't snap to anything. Sometimes you want it to snap, sometimes you don't want it to snap. You saw here that the zooming in and out, this is the zoom bar. You can do this. Standard keyboard shortcuts for zooming in and out are plus and minus. So plus for zooming in, minus for zooming out. If I, my roommate's here. Flatmate, not roommate. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, if you move your video track from your audio track, you will see that it will have these numbers in red, which means that it is out of sync by 9 frames, which is very interesting. And I will do Command Z for everything. Oh, nope. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so annoying not to use my own shortcuts, but I will get through it. I will get through it. So snap, that's snap. This is link selection. Normally it's on, which means that these, if I click the video or audio track of one of my clips, it will highlight both of them. You saw that I was navigating one at the time. You can do it by link selection. I never knew this before for a long time. I didn't know this, and I always used to right-click unlink them to do this. But then it wouldn't show up with the out of sync thingies. So I don't anymore. I use the link selection. You can place markers in your timeline as well as in your source. The big difference is if you put a marker in your timeline, it will put a marker on the time, on the sequence, this time code. So if I put a marker here, you can see it will show up here. But if I move this, it's not attached to that clip. If I put a marker here and then put this part in my sequence, you will see that the marker is also shown up there. And then there are some display settings for timeline display settings. If you wanted to see video names or not, if you want to show whatever, do whatever, you can do it there. Let me check if I'm not missing any comments. Nope. Oh my god, there are 12 people watching me. Oh wait, one of them is me. 11 people of you watching. Nice. How's everyone? Are you following it so far? Good. Then there are these V1 and VA things. These are the tracks. These are the source tracks. So these are the tracks of my source clip. It has one audio track and one video track. These are the sequence tracks. So they have more tracks. If the blue one means that it's highlighted, you can patch these video and audio tracks to different sequence tracks. So if I wanted to put my video from my source on my second video track, I would do this, patch it to there, then insert my video like this, and now the video is there. Do that with another thing as well. It just works like this. If you are using different tools, it also matters what types are highlighted, but I will go through that in a minute. Locks means that you cannot change anything about it. I cannot do anything about this edit now because I locked the sequence. Whoa, I'm very happy to teach people about link selection. It's very, very handy. Then there's the toggle, the sync lock. I will go into this later because it's important that you see it in action, and I want to explain the tools first, because then otherwise you will be like, what is she doing now? What tool is that? Okay, then the toggle track output, like I said, you can put things on different tracks, and this will just toggle what you will see on the track. And then for audio, you have the mute track, which means that you cannot hear this particular track, or solo track, which means that you can only hear this particular track. You can record voiceover in Premiere, but I won't really go over that. Then there's the master track volume output, track volume. You can up the volume here from all your master audio track, which means all of the audio of your video, just all of it. And if you double click this, you can also do it with this line, which you can also do in your regular tracks if you just expand. But I will go onto audio later. Again, there are also, I think, shortcuts for these, but they will be in the thing. Hi, Haley. Yeah, time code. I think that's everything. These are your video track, your audio tracks. They're separated by this thicker line. And then the zoom bar already explained. Good. Now we're going on to editing tools. Can everyone still follow me? When I did this at the Film Academy, this was like a part when I was like, okay, go guys, you can go and do something and come back, and then we'll tell you about other things. I will go through the editing tools now. They are located here in the toolbar. And if you see this little triangle, this means that there's something hidden underneath it. And if you click and hold, this will pop up and you can get the other ones. Track selection forward tool is on there, the A shortcut. And this means that everything you select, everything that is after your the clip that you're clicking on will be selected, same as the backward one. This means that you can change or move footage, like if I wanted to create a gap, move everything back, everything forward. The selection tool, by the way, I just skip over the selection tool. Why not? The selection tool is just a selection tool, obviously, but you can also lengthen and shorten any clip, but only if it has nothing in, at the end. This will not work. I can shorten it and it will create a gap, but I cannot lengthen it further than this. If you shorten it and there's a gap, you can click the gap and hit delete, and it will just scoot back over. So you don't have to select everything after it and move it back. Then the most important tools, the ripple edit tools and the rolling edit tools, they are a lot like insert and overwrite. Ripple is more like insert, which means that if you select an edit point, and you can see the arrow points toward the part where the clip that you're gonna edit. If you click and drag this, it will expand this clip and scoot everything back over. So, and if I do it the other way, it will just scoot back in. So if you saw that with the selection tool, I couldn't do this, but the ripple edit one just very smoothly. The other way around, whoop, very good. So it's insert because it doesn't change anything to the other clips, and it just scoots them the way you want to. The rolling edit one is more like override, because if I do this, I always highlight both of the clips. You can see it, like the arrows on both sides, and this will just override. You can see the two screens showing the first and last frame, the last frame of the previous clip and the first frame of the next clip, and this will override it. So the length of the whole thing together doesn't change, but where the edit point is will change. So this is more like override, and the other one is more like insert. Then there's the rate stretch tool that I don't ever use because I don't like it, but I can explain it. you can see here that the first frame of this clip is this one, and the last one is this one. And if you want to keep exactly this footage, but stretch it out longer or shorter, you can use the rate stretch tool. And you will see that it will have a percentage because it just slowed my video down, so it matched. I don't like using this to adjust the speed of my clips because it will come up with a weird 69.33%, and it will just mess with your frame rate, basically. So let me see. It will be the same, but just slowed down. You can see it, it's slowed down. I will talk about changing the speed later in the stream when I'm covering effects. Oh, I have an idea. Going to make a banner, and it will say editing tools. So people who are coming in can see what I'm doing. Is it on screen? Oh yeah, I'm a pro streamer now. Love this. Okay, good. Then there's the razor tool. And again, just like the rate stretch tool, I will be talking about not using this tool, but using a different one. With the razor tool, you can just make cuts in your footage. Click, and it will cut, whatever. Also, with the snap, it will snap to any existing cuts or to your playhead. So if I wanted to, it was like, okay, yeah, this is fun, but right here, I want to put something else in between it. Tim is asking, can you lasso a cut and then change the trim with a shortcut? There's a trim mode. There's a trim mode like in Avid in Premiere, but it's a little bit more advanced, so I'm not covering it in this stream. I kind of know how to use it, but it's a really different way of editing. It's the best way for Avid users, but for people who are just starting out editing, it's easier to just use these tools. So I won't cover the trim mode in this stream. I am sorry. It's for absolute beginners. So, okay. So if I have snap on, you will see that it will snap to my playhead if I come close enough, and then I can click and there will be an edit. But there's a better way of doing this, and it's called Add Edit. Premiere has hidden this function for some reason. It is under a shortcut, but it's under Shift. No, yes. Hello? Why is this not working? Hello. Shift. No. Command K. This is where the Add Edit one is. I wouldn't do this. I would place it on like something that you would use more often. I always have it on H, but you can also just put it on C to replace the razor tool. You can go type in Add Edit here, and then click this and just make C. Make it C. And delete that one. And it will be like, oh, C is already used in a lot of different things. And I'm like, yes, I know. I just don't want any of the other things. Just go away. Add Edit. Okay. Now, if you just are playing and you're like, well, I wanted to have it here, you can just do one hit on the button and there's a cut. Or if you wanted to, you can still pause it and then hit. This means that you don't have to go to play your video, go to the razor tool either with your mouse or with the shortcut that I don't have anymore, and then click on it and everything. It will just, it's very, these people. Sorry, I'm laughing at the comments. Make it just a hassle. We can just do it with one hit of a button. So I recommend using Add Edit, changing the shortcut for it, and just put it on C or anything else which you want to use, and just be a quicker editor. So boop. there you have it. That's the razor tool, or just how not to use a razor tool. My editor friends are fighting in the comments. Good. We're going to slip tool. Now, slip tool is interesting. Slip and slide tool are two editing tools that will change the content of your edit, but not the length of it. The slip tool changes the content within a clip. So you can see here that this is the content of this clip, but maybe if I wanted to do it a little bit further earlier, I can use this tool. If I start moving now, you can see that it pops up with 4 different screens. The one in the top left corner is the last frame of the previous clip. Right turn is the first frame of the next clip. And the 2 big ones are the first and last frame of this clip. And you can see that I'm changing it as I'm dragging these ones. You can see in the little gray one that it says plus a second or whatever. I can go all the way I want. Maybe I want it to be like 15 seconds over. It's not very, if you wanted to change it that much, you could just override it, overlay it with another one. But this is how you can change the contents. And when I let it go, you can see that hasn't anything been changed to the edits. It's just the contents. Now the slide tool is a little bit different in the way that it doesn't change the content of this clip. It changes the position of this clip without changing the length of your edit. So maybe I wanted this one to be a little bit this way, but I need to keep it in the same edit. Now you can see that these 4 images, the first and last frame of this clip are on the top, and the last frame of the previous clip and the first frame of the next clip are in the other screens. You can see that I'm changing the time code of these clips while I am moving them. So now this clip is shorter and this clip is longer, but the overall length of my edit is the same length. Then there is the pen tool and the rectangle tool and the ellipse tool, and I will not cover them right now because they are not really editing tools. Then the hand and the zoom tool are basically just navigating tools. You can use a hand tool to click and drag, navigate in your sequence, but you can also just use the selection tool and do this, or you can scroll. If you want to scroll, it also works. Same with the zoom tool. You can click and zoom and alt click and zoom out. But I mean, you can just use the zoom bar, or you can use the shortcuts minus and plus. So they are there if you want to use them, but not very helpful. The type tool and the vertical type tool I will cover when I'm going to cover titles. Okay, this is the basic of just editing, basically. I've explained this in 48 minutes. That's still a long time. I really hope I won't go over 2 hours. How's everyone doing? Am I clear? Is everything good? I'm going to take a sip of my water because I'm talking a lot. And then what am I going to... Oh yeah, okay. I'm just scrolling through my reader to see what the order was. Okay, now, so all of these clips are just hard cuts, just jump cuts. They're not jump cuts, but just they're... Oh, this is interesting. Hard cuts between the two. Sometimes you want a transition, a video transition. For video transitions, we go to effects. I will go into the normal effects later. But for now, we're just going to focus on video transitions. There are a lot of different video transitions. The ones that are used mostly are dissolves. And you can see here that there's a little blue line around cross dissolve. A cross dissolve is the most basic one. You can grab any transition and just place it onto a cut, and you can see it will, now there's a cross dissolve. Well, beautiful. If you have the selection tool on, you can just lengthen them here. And you can see, this is a beautiful cross dissolve. Wow. loving cross dissolves. And you can see that these has a blue line. This means that this is the default transition. Now you can right click on an edit and say apply default transition. You will see now that the video and audio track are highlighted. If you use link selection and do this and right click, it will only do the video one. And you can say apply default transition. And there is the default transition. There are also shortcuts for this. So let me see, keyboard shortcuts. I don't know them from the top of my head. Transition. Command D or Control D probably for, thank you for telling me I'm doing good. For Command D or Control D probably for Windows is video transition. Even if you have link selection on, this will work. Shift Command D for audio and apply default transition to selection with Shift D. So let me do them real quick. If I have link selection on and I want to dissolve here, Command D will only do the video one. Shift Command D will only do the audio one, but Shift D will do both of them. And if I have a selection, so maybe I wanted all of these to have a selection, I can do Shift D, and all of them will have the default transition. Now you can edit your transition just here by doing this. You can add dip to black, which is the fade to black basically. So this will, come on, go to black, and then this will come up. You can also put a transition on the end of the clip, so it will just fade to black like this. Note that a transition needs more frames to work. So for example, if I, let me see. Take a shot of Buckingham Hall in the daytime. And I put the very first frame in, and somewhere here, I don't know. And I will put it, by the way, there are better ways to navigate through this window. It has all the shortcuts. Shift 1 is project window, or this one. Shift 2 is source. Shift 3 is timeline. Shift 4 is program. But I always forget that these are a thing. So if I put this, look, I can do this as well. We said, can you also make a shortcut for a non-default transition, or does a short transition need to be default? It needs to be in default in order to make a shortcut out of it. It doesn't have the, it's basically like the Avid shortcut one, but a little bit different. But you have to make it a shortcut default. So if you wanted to, you can change that, by the way. I didn't even say that. If you right-click on this and set selected as default transition, now this one is default. So if you use dip to black a lot, you can just do it like this. And you can also like do dip to white. If you just want to do it once, you're like, okay, I want all of this to have a dip to black, and then select all of this, Shift D, and now they all have dips to black. Okay, I was saying, if you put the first frame in here on the end of your sequence, you can see this little triangle, which means that it's the first frame. And if I wanted to dissolve, but I cannot cross or make a dissolve between these two because it uses the frames of before the cut to make the dissolve, because it needs a little bit room. So this won't work. This will just be a weird, oh, it still works. Some of them dissolves will not work. Some of the transition won't work. So, I mean, you have like all of these amazing ones. One of my favorite is the page peel, which is just a lot of fun. Like I said, you can just drag these, but you can also go to effect controls here, which is Shift 5. Yes. And you can change them here. This is your transition. This is the A, and this is B. You can also say show actual sources. You will see this. Alignments, you can change the alignment where it wants to start. You can do this, and then it will be a custom start. You can change the duration like this. If you want it to be exactly 10 seconds or 6 seconds or whatever, you can do that. And you can center it again if you want to. So this is also where you can change some settings. Are you able to set one at a time as a default? Yes. There's only one, because as you can see, if I put this one on default, then this is not default anymore. The blue line means that it's the default one. Ta-da-da. Okay, so you have video transitions, and there are a lot of them, and I will just, if you are trying, just try them all out. I'm not gonna show you all of them. There are a lot of them. They're very fun. Cross zoom. I want to see this. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So play around with your video, especially when you're just trying to learn Premiere. Just get a bunch of footage and just go ham. Just use all of the effects, all of the transitions that you want, just so you can learn it. It's very fun. Okay, now, are we moving into audio? Is that true? No. Navigation tools. Yeah, there are more navigation tools. Play and pause is just your space bar. Maybe I can I show you guys the keyboard for a little bit? Does this work? I don't think so. Space bar is just play and pause. There are these ones, J, K, L. With L, you can also go forward, and K is pause. But if you hit it multiple times, it will go 2 times faster or slower. Same time with J, will go backwards. If you do it again, everything. What were more multiple ones? Yeah, I've done these. Delete is just backspace, delete, and the edit points I've already. The arrow keys, just left and right, will just navigate frame by frame. Shift 1 will do, what is it? 5 frames. I think you can also change that. Let me see. I'm just figuring it out as I go. This is not how it's supposed to go, but I'm doing it. Nope. For back many, here. So if I change it into 10 frames, looking at this, yeah, it just changed 10 frames. So you can also just do whatever if you want. I like to have it 10 frames. I don't know why, but that's just what I like. So shift, now I'm doing shift arrow to the right, shift arrow to the left, and up and down to go to the edit points, home and end. So you're not always like doing this, like, am I here? Where am I? Just use the shortcuts. Then I will talk about, oh, people left me. There are only 8 of you now. That's fine. Yeah, very important, creating copies of your work. If you have a project and you're trying, well, editing is not a linear process. You're changing all the time. Sometimes you're trying something out and you're not sure if it's going to work, or you just have a version and you want to keep that version for later. Whatever, you want multiple versions of your timeline, so you don't ever have to Command Z your way out of something, or think of, I tried something yesterday and it worked so well, but I already changed it, blah, blah, blah. Right-click on your sequence in the bin, just hit duplicate, change the name into version 2 or 1.2, whatever you want, and then double-click and it will open in a tab. And for me, I like to close the other one so that I just have the one sequence in here. Now I can also show you what this insert and overwrite sequences as nest or individual clips means. Because what if I wanted to do the same thing, or maybe I have changed something here, or this has something, or this is a scene. Maybe I've done just a scene in a sequence and I wanted to import the scene into the other one. If I drag this, grab this and drag this into here, you will see that it will come in here as a sequence, a green sequence. Excuse me. If I toggle this one, you will see that it will actually put in all of the clips instead of the sequence. I also didn't know this for the longest time. You can also load sequences in your source. So if I put this in there, now this is my project. And I think if I put an in at the beginning and an out at the end, and then use my insert, it will also work the same way as just normal footage works, normal clips. So great, I have my project number version 2. And now we're going to do something with audio. Audio is very important to editing. Some people are only will only pay attention to their video and then forget about their audio, but it's very important. For now, I will import something from something that I have. And when you're importing extra sound effects or music, make new bins, organized. So I'm going to make a bin for music and a bin for, oh, no. A bin for sound effects. And I want this to be, if you click here, it will sort it by the name of the bin. And then I will open my music one, and I can double click or right click, whatever. And I will just, hello, random music. I have no clue what this sounds like. The Ice Mountains. Great. Sounds like it will be very applicable through this edit. Double click and you can, it will open these. There are two, it's a stereo track, so there are 2 tracks. Oh, this is beautiful. But it's also very loud. I don't know how loud you have it, but in here, incredibly loud. So I will just use the beginning of this clip, maybe from here where you can hear it, and then a little bit longer, maybe till here or something, I don't know. Now I have mapped this audio to this one, so if I would hit B right now, it would just, oh, not B, point right now, it would just overwrite my audio. I don't want that. I want it to be on here. So, oh, that was the insert one. Overwrite. This is also the point where I can explain to you what, why these are important. If I'm using add edit, I should have explained this earlier. If I'm using add edit and all of these tracks are selected, they will add an edit to all of them. You can see how it's now has an edit even in the music. And if I deselect these and then use add edit, it will only turn up here. So that's important about the selection. And then also now I can show you what these sync locks do. Because I probably just want my music to stay like this, but I maybe want to make it start here, and then I want to make sure that it will start at this point in this clip. So right when this dissolves, this diplomatic happen right here. I want it to happen here, and this will probably work very much fine. I want this to scoot up, and it will scoot on with me. If I turn off this sync lock, oh, it will not scoot on. You can see that it will just stay in place where I put it. So this is why you can use the sync lock as a way of making sure that it will stay in place or move with your edit or stay in place where you want it to be. Good. Okay, so I have put some great music underneath here, but as you can see, this is very loud. I have researched what the correct level of audio should be for video, for online video, and it's non-existent. Audio is very annoying in the way that every viewing area will need have different conditions, and also will need different sound levels, different mixes. This is what sound mixing is all about, making sure that it will sound the right way, how people want it to sound. There are different ways of going about this. The most important thing is that you test it a lot. So if you have a video, if you're done with a video and you've exported it, like I will show you in like an hour maybe, exported it, you can just listen to your video, watch your video, listen to your video with earbuds in, without headphones, on your desktop computer and on YouTube. Just upload it on like unlisted or private and listen to it multiple ways to check if your audio is good. But for now, I would stick to like a level about -1.6. And now you might ask me, what is -1.6? Well, this meter is, it says dB here, decibels. I think most of you will know what decibels are. But this is a decibel full scale. I need to change my audio of my banner. Audio. Oh, audio. Decibel full scale, dBFS. I will maybe I should dBFS. Yes. Which means decibel full scale. So it's related to full scale. The number zero here is the maximum capacity a system can handle of audio without it peaking. You may have heard some sounds that make your speakers, like, it sounds really bad because it's too loud for your speakers or for the recording device to pick up. That's what peaking is. And the staying under the 0 dBFS level will make sure that you make sure that it will not peak. Your audio won't clip. You can change your maximum peak level of all of your audio. I'll go about that in a second. But usually for a video, you would put a level of around here for like the normal level. Never go maybe to here maximum for online video, for loud stuff, for quiet stuff around here. But it's, again, just test it for where you need it to be. Everything will need something different. So for now, the background sound of this is incredibly low, and I can just hear the music very loudly. This is where I go to the audio clip mixer. You can see here that you can see all the tracks. And this is my first audio track, and this is the second. Now, there are so many ways to adjust the volume on a clip, and I don't know why. First one is right-click here and go to audio gain. Audio gain means that how much dBs it has gained, or it's not gain if it's the opposite. I don't know the word. But it is a different zero level than this zero level. This is the dBFS, and this is just dB, and it will always be set to 0. You can see it here on the mixer. It is set to 0. Nothing has changed to the audio that was recorded. So I can adjust the gain by 7 dB. You can see that the set gain here is also changed to 7 dB. But I can also click this and set it to 10. And then if I do OK, this will turn yellow. You can see, you cannot see it, that is actually edited here as well, which is weird. And then if I do it again, and if I use adjust and do 3, you can see that set 1 has gone to 13, and this is just 3. So it's just adjusting your gain and setting your gain. I can also just do set gain to 0. Okay, and then it will be gray again. You can use these one as well. You can double click here. Again, do like 12. I don't know, I want to adjust it by 12. And you can see it's changed a tiny bit. There's no really interesting sound in this footage at all, so doesn't really matter, but still. And maybe I want this to be like -10, -10, hop. You can use these sliders as well. You can also go to effect controls, highlight your clip, and then here there's also a level volume, and you can also animate it. This is what I was talking about when I was extending this. You can use the pen tool to create keyframes. This might be a little bit too advanced if you've never used an editing software before. You can always Google more into keyframes, but this will mean that I can now drag this down and it will change in volume. So now it's way lower. And it came back again. You can see those keyframes here as well, and you can change them here as well. Use these arrows to go between the two, all of the keyframes, so you're on the exact same frame. This also means that you can animate it, because you're now animating the sound. Whatever. So there's so many different places where you can adjust the sound. You will also see, you can also write a keyframe here, but I wouldn't do it because it's not very visual. So I'm creating a masterpiece during this session. It's really good, all of it. And then there's also the audio track mixer, but this will only work on, this will adjust it for the whole track. So if maybe, for instance, for me, all of my audio is very soft, so maybe I don't want to change the audio on this one. Maybe I'll put it on 0 again. Just I don't want any keyframes, just no changes. And I want to go to my track mixer and just put my whole track on 12 dB. So everything on this track is now louder than it was. If you're in the clip mixer and you're changing something, it will only do that for the clip that your playhead is at. So if I would do this, it will only change it for that clip where my playhead was. So now I have upped the level for all of these, and you can see it has some peaks and it's very loud. If there was like footage of someone speaking here, then that would have been better. Now, if you're using a lot of sound effects, for example, I have like a very big library of sound effects. And I will just import some random stuff. Birds and animals. Let's go. And a cat, maybe. And I don't know, puppies. And chimpanzee, of course. Import these files. And maybe you want them to sound all at the same time. You will run out of tracks. You can just put your right click here, add track. Or if you just want one track, and it will just edit the bottom. Or if you want multiple, you can do add tracks ... and then a screen will come up, and you can add also video tracks here. And I don't want any video tracks, so I'll change it to 0. And I want to add 4 audio tracks after audio 3, and I want them to just be standard, which is stereo. Okay, now I have a bunch of new tracks. I can change this so I don't have to have the empty space at the top like this, and I can put all of them at the same time. But now maybe it's way too loud. Look at this. It's going into, oh my God, those chimpanzees. Going into reds. So I'm going to the clip mixer and just putting everything on like -10 because it's too loud. So what you do when you're editing, when you've done all of your audio, this is beautiful. This is art. You can see that level is fine. Keep your eye on this while doing audio work, and if you're done with your video, just play it through and keep your eye. If there's any peaks, maybe watch the clip mixer to see which ones are doing the peaking and adjust. There's also the panning of an audio clip. Maybe I want the chimpanzees, which was that. I want to see the audio names. The chimpanzees. Maybe I want like track 4 to just come out of my left ear. And I do all this. Did it work? I'm not sure if it works. I can still hear them at both of them, but I think that's because of the routing of my audio. I think that if I would put my headphones in my actual computer, I would hear it only at the left ear, because I've done some intricate things about routing of the audio, so it's in the stream. But this will then you can see it here. It will only come out of your left speaker or headphone, whatever. Do 0 again to make it middle and just have both of them. Oh, you can see that you can see it going into the red. So this one actually does not need the full extra things. So I'll just adjust it for this one, -10, whatever. It's beautiful. Then also audio transitions. Probably you can hear it if I... well, this one wasn't that bad. Let me see. It's all pretty much the same. Well, maybe it would be bad. You can go to effects as well. And there are 3 different audio transitions. Visual indicator whether a track is stereo or mono. Yes, you can see here that in this track, you can see 2 different audio tracks. If you get what I mean, this one is the left one, this is the right one. They are identical in this track, but you can see that maybe in the music one, there's a slight difference between those tracks. So this is left and this is right. You can also see it left and right. If I would make a mono track, so let me see, add track 0. Yeah, sure, make it mono. You can see that here there's one speaker. It means that it's mono, and I probably cannot put any of my stuff on there. Not this one. I wanted to do some sound effects. Oh, I actually can. Okay. Oh, it just put both of them in there. But probably what will happen now if we just solo this? You can look at here. Yeah, it will just put both of the tracks of the stereo one right into one thing, and you're not able to pen it anymore. It's just a mono track. Not sure why you can't pen it, because you should be able. Oh, okay, you can pen it here still. At the track mixer, you can pen the whole track. Fun times with chimpanzees. Go away. Let me see. Oh yeah, transitions. Thank you, Tim. There are 3 different audio transitions. They're all crossfades, and the way they work is basically mathematical. I will run through it. I will recite what I had on my reader. Let me see. Transitions, audio transition. Okay. Constant gain changes audio at a constant rate in and out as it transitions between clips. This crossfade can sometimes sound abrupt. Constant power creates a smooth, gradual transition, analogous to the dissolve transition between video clips. So it decreases audio for the first clip slowly at first and then quickly towards the end of the transition. And then the second clip, this crossfade increases audio quickly at first and then more slowly toward the end of the transition. Exponential fade fades up the first clip over a smooth logarithmic curve while fading up to the second clip. It's mostly mathematical weirdness, but just put one over there. This is the default for a reason. Put one over there and you can probably hear the difference. Maybe if let me see, what if I want to make the chimpanzees go into puppies? So I will highlight the 5th one, make a cut, delete this, and put this over here, like this. And then now, you can hear that's very sudden, not very nice. Put constant power over it, or use the Command Shift D for the default one. And you can hear that it slowly fades into each other. And the exponential fade, let's see what that does. It will fade it out and then fade this one back in. So those are the two types. The constant gain is also one, but it's really just listening to what you want. Constant power is just a good one to have if you're just fading them to sound smooth. Exponential fade is more like if you want to fade out and the other one to fade in. And you can edit those the same way as you would a video transition. So put this on and then go highlight it and then go to effect controls, and you can see you can just add this, change it, make it longer. Say I want it to last 10. Have I talked to you about how time code works? I don't think I have. The time code is hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. And we're working in a 25 frame thing. So if I put 25 here, I think it will just go to 11 seconds. Yeah. Then I can set it a cut again. And now it will just go 11 seconds, fade them. Let me see. Those are audio transitions. Adding music, sound effects, I've done this. Blah, blah, blah. Adding tracks, I've done this. Okay. So do you guys want to know about effects first or titles first? I have, it's like 6:30, almost. 5:30. I'm sorry, 5:30 English. Let me see, what do you guys want? Titles or effects? I can do either one of them. And in the end, I will do some exporting things. Is there no preference? Does no one have a preference? Oh, Tim says effects. We says effects. Thank you for supporting me. Anouk says effects. She's a visual effects person. Okay. Effects. We're going to effects first and then titles. Well, we're already here, basically. This is the effect browser, and you have audio effects and video effects. And there are a lot of different types of effects. So, for example, I will go for a distort one. I'll use twirl because it's fun, and I've already also used it in the reader, which is good. So I'll just zoom in for a little bit. I'm gonna use twirl on this shot. Should I use it on this shot? Maybe not. Let me see. Hello, why is not my... Where am I? Oh, maybe I know why. Ah, yes. So these also correspond, if you're using the go to next and previous edit points, you need to have these highlighted as well. Otherwise, they don't work. So we're going to put twirl on this one. This is fun. We're going to put twirl on this shot. So I just grab twirl and whoop, pick it up there. I will go into this red line in a little bit. Effect controls, I've talked about effect controls for, oh my God. I've talked about effect controls for a little bit now. You will see that here is the effect roll that I've put on there, but there's a lot of different settings for a clip. So this video clip will always have motion, opacity, and time remapping. Now, time remapping is a bit too advanced. I will not go into time remapping now because it uses keyframes a lot, and it's making time ramps, but it's okay. You can Google that. There are a lot of different tutorials. But here's where you can edit the position. You can just drag or you can type, scale. You can rotate it. You can change the opacity as well. You can animate these with the same type of keyframes that I did with the audio ones. You can do that in here as well. It has a line, but this is the opacity line, I'm pretty sure. Is it not? Oh wait, this is the audio one. I am dumb. I'm in an audio track. Oh my God, guys, what is happening? Bigger. I want this to be bigger. See, there's a line as well. I think this is the opacity line. See, this is the opacity line. Okay. But you can animate these with keyframes. If I click on rotation, for example, and I say toggle animation, it will put a keyframe on the frame that my playhead is in. So this is around here in the clip, and this is the frame. And if I go here and put another keyframe with this one, and I twist it around like 360 degrees, 360, 1 times 0, it says, now it will turn around in this time. And you can always also like edit a lot of them to make it smoother, but that's more like After Effects work. But you can still make some funny animations in here. You can always click this out and just delete all the keyframes and make it 0 again. So these are some. This will every clip will have this. If you put an effect on it, it will show up here as well, and you can see that the little effects one here is gray, and here it's purple or lavender colored maybe. This means there's an effect on it. Here, this is yellow. This means that the audio gain has been changed. This one is gray because it hasn't been changed. And this is, I put the effect on, but you can't see anything at all because this is still to 0. If I put angle now, change the angle. Oh, there it goes. This is a beautiful twist. I've put the twist in there. You can also animate this as well, so it will twist or twist out. Maybe I want this to be here, but at the beginning of the one, I want it to be at 0. And then the end, I also want it to be at 0. And then it will just animate this. Oh. And go back. This is really some interesting abstract art that I'm making here. So you can adjust all the settings here. Oh, twirl radius, make it as big as you want it to be. Twirl center, you can put the twirl somewhere else. Maybe I want it to be there. All of these little fun things. This is where the stream gets interesting at the effects one. So now I have created this beautiful, beautiful effect. It even animates very easily. For audio, there are also more effects, audio effects. Let me see. Let me do like a pitch shift maybe, put it on this audio one, and you will see that it will has turned green, and now it has turned up here. If you have link selection on and you select the whole clip, video, all the effects are here, and audio, all the effects are here. Click on effects, and this will have an edit one, because this is a kind of more intricate one. I've never used this. Let me see. Now I can play it. And I have pitched the noise, and maybe I should have used it on the puppies or the whatever for it to be audible. But you can change the effects here. Most of the audio effects ones will have this. If you don't like it, you can just highlight it and backspace it and it will be gone. Or delete it. Maybe that's all about effects. I'm not gonna walk through any of them, like more of the effects, because there are a lot of them. Again, just like the transitions, just try them out. Because it's fun to just try and do whatever. What else? What else? I think I can go on to the titles now, because I've done effects, I've done audio, and oh no, I forgot to talk about the red line. The red line is because the effect isn't rendered. You can see that okay, now it's still playing in real time. But if you have a lot of effects, your computer might not be able to play it in real time because it hasn't rendered the effects. This is also where the video previews came in that I was talking about. There's no folder for video previews here yet, but I said you can put your video previews in a different folder at the beginning, at the start of making a project. It's very easy to render. You just hit enter on your keyboard and it will render the file. And it says running one video preview, and it will also have made a video preview folder here. And when it's done, it will just play from the beginning. So even if you, there it goes. Oh, I have it soloed. I was like, why don't I hear all of my beautiful audio? But it's because I have it soloed. Now the line has turned green. So it has rendered it, and there are now video previews in here. Rendered video. If you want to just view your video from the beginning, even if you don't have any effects, you can just hit enter and it will start playing from the beginning of your sequence. Then titles. It's time for titles. And in 2017, Adobe Premiere changed something about titles, because it's entered this tool into existence, the type tool, but it also still has the old way of making titles. I will go through the old way first and then a new way. And it doesn't really matter which one you use. It's just preference. For the old one, you need to make a bin for titles. Make a bin, call it titles. And open the bin. And then you go to File, New, Legacy Title. They have called it Legacy Title for some reason. Not sure why, but you can go to Legacy Title and this will pop up. This will have the same settings as your sequence that you're working in, but you can change it if you want to change it, change the frame rate, change the width or the height, and then give it a good name. Credits 1. I don't know, whatever. And then hit OK. And then you will see that in your bin, there's now a little thing called Credits 1. That's this title. And this screen has opened up. Now, there are so many tools to make. I don't really know why this is being a little bit weird. Oh, nope, I did not want that. Oh, maybe because I don't have a title yet. Okay, so you can use this one, the type tool, to just click and start typing credits. And then this will pop up. You can change the font, the color, make it pink. For example, you can even make it a gradient, go from pink to white. Beautiful gradient. You can do whatever you want. There's even this, I love this tool. This is the path type tool, and you make a path, like maybe here. And then you can type along this path, which is beautiful. Or you can make a vertical title, also fun. You can also create like a text box, drag and create this to have like a text box. You can create shapes. It will automatically use the same settings as your last, hi Lemon, last setting. Or you can use some of the incredible word art title styles that are in here. And then you can also select your title and then align it to the center with this. If you have multiple titles, so like another credit, and you want this to be below, you want this to be up, and you can select them both and then align them so that the center is aligned. And that they both align to like the center, whatever. You can do a lot of them. This is, the background is the frame that my playhead was on, which is this one, you can see. You can scroll here or type here to get another frame. Or if you don't want to see the background, you can just click this and then it will be translucent, and you can add a background, maybe a black background, if you want it to have a background, which can also be a gradient, which is also fun. Goodbye. Anouk, thank you for watching. Yeah, what else? What else? I don't know. This is my credit now, and I want it to be on this. Yeah, this is beautiful. And I can just click this, and it will save automatically. And now I have this, and it will just work as any other video track, except for the fact that if I double click it, it will just open the legacy title editor again. So I have to drag it onto a sequence. Hey, hello. And again, the title has to be rendered. Oh, oops. And I don't like the snap one. I want it to be like here. So I have to render it again if I want it, especially because it's on top of a. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Okay, never mind. Yeah. This is the way, but there's another way to make titles, the new one, and that's the type tool, and also a vertical type tool. But we're going to use the type tool now. And you can just click in your program monitor and be like, hello, credits. This has automatically opened up my effect controls. And here, down here, I can change a lot about my effects. Also scroll for the transform options, change the position, change the scale, do almost everything as the other one had. But then there's another place where you can edit this title, which is under Window, Essential Graphics. This will open up this thing. It also has a lot of templates for titles if you want to use those. And you can just go to Edit, and then here there are a lot of more different things that you can use to edit the title. The only thing is, this is already placed it into my sequence, but it's not an actual file somewhere. It's not in my project. It's not this one. This is the one that we created this earlier. So it's just a graphic layer. It's called a graphic. Even if I start dragging it, you can see it says graphic there. And yeah, you can change it a lot as well here. And then you can close this panel if you want to just put on the. Why is this suddenly green? Oh, it's gone. Okay, well, my computer is having a hard time streaming and using this program at the same time. So yeah, those are two different types of making titles, basically. So I think we're almost at the end, because I think I only have to export now. But I wanted to see if anyone has questions. I forgot to change the banner again. Oh my god, no. I'll just put this one on there. To remind you guys that you can pay me if you want to for this. By the reader that is not done yet. Or you can tip me using one of the links in the descriptions. Are there any questions now? I think the lighting has changed dramatically since I've started streaming, because the sun is gone from my windows. Yeah, no, are there any questions? Maybe there are any questions. No, everything is very clear. Thank you. But you are also one of the people who will... you're one of the people who is like, already know what editing is. I don't know if there are any people watching that have never edited before that have some questions. Don't hesitate to comment. Oh, if you're watching this on my website, click on the video to open it into YouTube, and then you can comment on it that way. I didn't say that at the beginning of the stream. I meant to, but I didn't. So the ideal link doesn't work. Oh no, did I set it up too early? Oh, thank you, Tim. Thank you so much for tipping me. Okay, I have to change the link. I will change the ideal link after the stream and put it on my website. Change the link on my website, because there's on the page of my website, there's also a link. Maybe I can share, I can show you. Wait a minute. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Let me see, resources, live masterclass. And then do this. Let me see, share screen, yes, share screen, application window. Sure, okay. This link here, I will try to change this one to a good one so you can tip me after the masterclass has ended if you want to. Also, the video of today will be shown here. You can still watch it after you've been here. You can just not comment and not ask any questions anymore, but that's okay. But thank you, Tim, for tipping me. Are there any questions for people who do not do any editing? There are more people watching than just Tim and Lise. I'm pretty sure. But if you don't want to comment, you don't have to. Because if there aren't any questions, I will just go and cover exporting. I can just start doing that and then see if any questions come in after. For now, I will try to change this because this is weird, right? This is just a lot of audio at the end of my video. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to put credits at the beginning of my video. And I want not this one. I want the ones I made, the freaky ones. Yeah, this ones. I want these. And then I'm going to just select all of my audio. I held Shift doing this. Oh. Shift, and it will select or deselect all of them. Oh, is it just clicking? Oh, it's just clicking. I don't have to even drag. Just click. Shift click, and all of them are highlighted. And then I will put a cut there, and then I will select all of these and delete them. And then I'm gonna put some fade outs on these. Shift, and then do everything, and hop. And then I want to make sure that they are good, so everything fades out. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Then I will cover exporting. For me, exporting is very important that you put an in and an out mark in your sequence. In and out. Because I am not 100% sure if it matters in Premiere, but I just always do it. I just want my video that I'm exporting to start here and end here and not have any black at the end. Or if I had like a video somewhere here lost and I hit export, it will just export everything, including all the black and the one video at the end. You don't want that. So just highlight everything, make sure everything is here, everything is good, it's fun, and then you go File, Export Media, or you can do Command M. And it will open the export dialog. Are there any questions? There are not any questions. Okay. We'll export the export settings. Again, all of these settings are very technical. You can, if you want to, you can research into what everything means. I don't even know what maximum render quality is because I don't understand why it would do that. You can just click match sequence settings and it will just do everything like the sequence settings, but I'm not sure if I want that. And also, so I just unclick it and I will go to, let's see. For internet, YouTube says they want an H.264 as the exporting format. So I'll just do H.264. And you can see that these are all good. This is exactly what I want. I don't know what render maximum depth means. This is also very technical, but you can look into them if you want. Audio, important that it says stereo. If you have any stereo music or sound effects and you've mixed it stereo, if it would be mono, that would not be fun because everything will just be pushed through the one channel. Just go everything. But the most important thing is the output name. You click on this. You can click on this, And then you go to your export folder because you made this folder and you want to know where you save it. So, and then you can do final. I don't know, version 2? No, it's the final version. Project final. This is the name I'm going to give it now. Give it a clear name. If you're making different exports with different codecs and containers, just do like H264 after it. That will always help. If you're making different things on different dates, you can always add the dates, and I would do it in reverse so that they stack in order of month and then day. Otherwise, if you're going to export something on like April 11th and May the 2nd, the May 2nd one would go on earlier in the Finder. So do 2020, and today is April 7th. So I know that this is the export I made on April 7th, 2020. And then save. Now this has changed. And then you can queue and use the media encoder, but you can also just hit export. And this is a very short video. So it won't take that long. But if you have a big video, longer video, this can take a long time to export. It takes longer than I thought it would. This with my water. Okay, it's done. Great. Now, very, very important, test your export. Go to export and open it and view it. I love this video. I've done a very good job. It sounds exactly like I want it. It looks exactly like I want it. Oh, it's very loud. One thing for like things on the internet, it will sound very loud on your desktop, but not as loud as on YouTube. So again, test it on the platform it's supposed to go on. Just test it in the room you're going to show it on the day of showing, or if you were going to do it for, I don't know, house party, just test it with earbuds and without. It will always have a little bit of a change, but you make sure that you are like, okay, this is great. Also, you cannot control how people are going to watch it on like their phones, on the video phone speaker. Just test it on as much platforms as you can to see if it sounds okay-ish. If it's a short video, watch the whole thing after, like this is 25 seconds. You could test all of this, watch it through. We're not going to do that now. To just see if it's all good, listen to it, make sure all of the sound that you put in there is there. I've had a viewing of like one of my films at the film school where this was not in Premiere, but where I didn't really check my export and one of the video tracks was turned off and I had to make my coaches wait 20 minutes to make a new export, which is not fun. So check it every time, check your export. Don't just export it and think it's going to be good and upload it to YouTube and never look back, because there could be a very big error. If you're making like a 20-minute video, you don't have to watch the whole thing. If you can't, just check, like think about which is the point that has the most sound effects, more music. Listen to it. Is everything there? Is everything mixed correctly? If you have a part with the most effects, look at it, see if it works, if it all works. And then I think you have it. You've made your very first video, and it's beautiful. These are the absolute basics. This program has a lot more thing. You can do, I don't know, there's a lot of things you can do. You can use the trim function, but that's just a little bit too, I don't know, too advanced, I believe, for this stream and for my reader. So I think I've covered everything. No one has asked me any questions. I've streamed for almost 2 hours. This is exactly the time that I wanted it to last, like not longer than 2 hours. I've talked a lot. I've shown you almost everything there is to the basics. Also, you can you have like, you can, I think you've seen me do this, but you can do all of this. I don't use half of these. This is a history one. You can even go back into your history, but I never use this. Yeah, I'll show you. There are some other workspaces. Like there's an audio workspace, which makes it maybe better to use audio. An effect workspace that has the effect things, and the essential graphic one on the side if you're doing a lot with effects. You can also do color. Those are also in. There is a creative Lumetri color one. You can edit the color of your things, do some color correcting. Yeah, you can do basically anything in here, but these were the basics. Why is this all the way here? I don't like that. No. So any questions? Are there questions, or are you all done? Will there be an advanced stream as well? No, because I don't consider myself an advanced Premiere user at all. I know all of the basics. I can teach people all of the basics, but I am much more of an advanced user in Avid, as you probably know. I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I don't really use Premiere ever. Which is maybe, but I know how it works, so I can still do this. No, there won't be an advanced stream. I see that a lot of people have already left the stream, which is good. It's fine because I'm done basically. No, there won't be an advanced stream. And also I'm not going to stream teaching Avid because that's a whole nother thing. This has been a lot of work. Well, it's been a lot of work writing the reader. So if people want to look at, view everything back, read along, like see if there's anything you've missed or any more questions, I've written it all down, but you do have to pay for the reader because I've put a lot of effort into it. And it's very pretty. Let me see. Yeah, no, I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna stop the broadcast. I don't think there are any questions. So yeah, there we are. Oh my God. This is me again, very large, very big. Yeah, no, I think this will be it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking all the way to the end, especially these. Thank you for being here and commenting and asking questions. That was very fun answering them. And I hope you liked it. If you want to have the link for the full broadcast, if you missed some parts, it will be on my YouTube channel, and you can just, it will also be just on the website, evaplompen.com/research resources /live, sorry, but you can also click on it via my resources page. Yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.